opening minds to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. You never want to miss a show with Motivation Monday, Relationship Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Gumbo Talk Thursday, and Freedom Friday. That's where we drop our bags, we open our mind, and we open our soul to let a little bit out and let a little bit in. So hopefully we can all live the good life. I do want to remind everyone who is in the state of Louisiana. I know you listen from here, there, and everywhere, but we are based in New Orleans, Louisiana. And for us, it is election season, and tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is the last day to register to vote. Play around if you want to. We want to make sure that everyone participates in the process. So tomorrow is the last day to register to vote for the October 14th election. So we want to make sure that everybody does that. You can do it online at the Secretary of State. sos.la.gov is the easiest way. You can always do it in person, but there's more people in the world with a smartphone than a toothbrush. So that is your little random tip for today. It is the truth. I have Dr. Tammy Wilmore in the studio with me laughing. It's the truth. And of course, I have none other than Henry Jolly, our resident relationship therapist. We are discussing love this week, y'all. I'm excited about this topic. We're going to hit so many different areas. I really want to make sure y'all stay tuned for Friday because, that's where I talk about things that I learned in my life. And I'll give you a little bit of it today, but of course I'm going to jump into it on Friday. I've always known about soulmates and life partners, but recently I have learned about twin flames and the difference between all of them. And your soulmate could be your brother, your soulmate could be a parent, it could be a friend, and you have more than one soulmate. Some people are like, oh, you just have, well, no, you don't. You have more than. So we'll go into a lot of that on Friday and kind of break it down, just things that I've learned that I am more aware about. And you also have karmic soulmates, people that are supposed to teach you a lesson. Yeah, you're supposed to learn the lesson and then let go. You're not supposed to stay attached with them. So that's what, so many times a lot of us stay attached to those people thinking that they are the one for us, but we're really just supposed to be learning a lesson. So I want you to make sure you stay tuned until all week because we're going to have lots of fun with this topic. But of course, I have my two inspirational people in the building with me today. So I want each of them to let you know how they can how you can contact them because I have so many people who send me emails and call and things like that. I want to make sure that they get their information out. So Dr. Tammy Wilborn, how can someone contact you?
Good morning, everybody. Wilborn Clinical Services, so they can contact me at area code 504-509-2995, or they can email me at info@wilbornclinicalservices.com, or you can find me on the web, www.wilbornclinicalservices.com.
She is everywhere that you want to be. And Henry, for the flip side, the ladies might want to talk to you, the guys might want to talk to you. How can they get in touch with you?
So my Instagram is @HenryJolly_counselor. And my phone number is 504-259-8671. Once again, 504-259-8671.
There we go. And so into this conversation, it's Relationship Tuesday. I know this is one of your favorite days of the week. It's one of mine. I love every day. But I love having these two in the studio with me because I get to ask them questions sometimes and kind of hear their professional point of views as well as their, life experiences because it does go twofold. So I actually have, and I know y'all know the theme is love, but you didn't necessarily know which way. And I kind of did that on purpose because I wanted to, I'm going to read something to you. I found this article on MadameNoir.com. It's and because it's something I've been dealing with. It's something that I know a lot of people have dealt with, and I would really like your personal and professional viewpoints on this. And it's humility and love in dealing with your ego.
Right.
So I'm going to read a short article, and then I'd love for you all to respond. It begins as, love is a short word with many characteristics and meanings. It is often defined as patient, kind, not envious, and it doesn't keep record of right or wrong. Out of all the varying attributes of love, there is one that is often overlooked and needs to be expressed more in relationships. That trait is humility. Being humble is the act and art of swallowing one's pride or minimizing one's ego. In relationships, many people fail to realize that humility and love go hand in hand. And in failing to recognize this, many people don't implement it within their relationships and in turn fail to display love at its best. In order to express love for someone, you must minimize your ego by placing your needs on the back burner to make the one you adore happy. One would think that this is an easy thing to do. However, oftentimes people don't apply it in their relationships. As I think about a number of different relationships, the humility of love comes into play in a variety of circumstances. But the two situations that immediately come to mind are when a person threatens to leave or actually leaves, and when a person has been unfaithful. So it goes on to say, how many times have we seen a man or woman walk away from an intimate connection for whatever reason, then see the significant other come after them in a panic and frenzy, using every tactic they can to regain of what they've lost?
Right.
How many times has a woman given a man an ultimatum before he realizes what he's about to lose? Why does it take someone to leave or threaten to leave a relationship before humility with love comes into play? Well, individual emotionally hurt, and when a person is hurt, they are vulnerable. When someone for that person to eat a slice of humble pie. When a person in love arrives at their lowest point, they lay down their pride and humble themselves to do whatever is necessary to restore what has been lost, whether it's themselves and then the relationship or however that may come out. It goes on to say, when an individual is the victim of infidelity, it takes humility and love to endure the hurt, move beyond the indiscretion, forgive the cheater, and remain in the relationship. And we saw that on a huge scale with, our president, when it was Bill Clinton and, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
That was on a huge scale.
Good old Bill.
Good old Bill. Not only that, but it takes a meek heart and strong spirit to withstand the ridicule of others who know about the act. Many people may say that staying with someone who has hurt and embarrassed you is foolish. But if you think about it, is it being foolish? Is it exemplifying humbleness with love? It is important to remove yourself, the ego, and the selfishness when a relationship in order to move forward in a productive manner and salvage what means most to you. If you're involved with someone whom you profess to love, or you're moving to that point, keep these simple things in mind to effectively practice humility with love. And it goes on to say, always consider your partner's need and try to meet them. While striving to meet your partner's needs, don't neglect yourself. I want to make sure that that's in there. Remember that the relationship is not all about you or solely about your partner, but it is about the both of you. So of course this plays into two different scenarios. So I'm going to go back to the first one and kind of relive that one for you, and then have both of y'all respond to that scenario, because we are discussing love in humility in love. And so how many times have you seen a man or woman walk away from an intimate connection for whatever reason, and then see the significant other come after them in a panic and a frenzy? Why does it take someone to leave, or why does it take someone to claim that they're going to leave, or throw that out there before maybe one or the other recognizes how much it actually means to them? Because some people, you have both sides of that. Some people throw it out too quickly.
Yeah.
And then you also have the person who actually leaves, and the other person's like, wait, I really want that. I'm trying to give it to you on major scales. Like when we saw the Princess of Wales and the Prince of Wales,
Mm-hmm.
Kate and Will, they separated for a couple months, and she was out dating on the scene, and photographers taking pictures of her. Then he's like, wait, she is the love of my life. How many times have you seen people break up and then one or the other like, no, I really do want this?
Yeah.
Why does it come to that sometimes, or is it just necessary?
Sometimes people just have a wake-up call. I mean, it's as simple as that. People get comfortable, they get complacent, they get to the point where they take things for granted. They take things for granted, and I believe I have a different take on love than most.
Which is why I love to hear your point of view.
Man, first of all, love is a choice, and if you don't think that love is a choice, feel sorry for you, because it's totally a choice. I mean, even in the case of infidelity, when you're in a committed relationship, somebody cheats, and you don't want to forgive. You chose not to forgive. You chose not to stay with him, or you chose to stay with him, and you chose to be with him. So if you look at the Bill Clinton situation, his wife, I mean, that had to be tough for her. I mean, being in the public eye like that.
And that wasn't just like you and your mom and them friends knew. That was the entire
Everybody
world.
know.
It wasn't even just the United States. That was the entire world knew that your husband was unfaithful.
But I'm going to tell you what she had to do. She really had to get it in her own head and fix how she thought about the whole situation. She had to, I don't know what she was thinking, but she had to change her thought process for sure, from anger to forgiveness to, okay, what do I do next?
Right.
And she had to really figure it out. And I mean, that's what people have to do. Everybody can't deal with the infidelity thing. Me personally, I couldn't do it, but a lot of men couldn't do it. And I do feel like women are mentally tougher than men, especially when it comes to that. Because I think our ego is getting away. We feel like, oh, she's giving away my prize, so to speak. And a woman could think the same way when her man cheats, but it kind of gets...
But what?
You kind of put a Band-Aid on it because more women relate to it more than... You know, there's a lot of women that stay and, you know, you could talk to people and more women could relate. I guess for men it's more of like an embarrassment thing. Like, I can't believe she did that.
You don't think it's embarrassing
to me?
Women?
It is. I believe it is. But I think men... They have a more, you know, the ego is more into it, but also it's like a possession type of thing. Like, that's mine. I can't believe she did that. But I think differently about it. I don't believe, like, I believe that's not mine, and I'm not.
And
you know what I'm saying?
It's funny that you say that, because I actually, God works in mysterious ways. When I'm thinking about a topic, sometimes I'll see like people put stuff on social media. So there was this gentleman yesterday who put something on social media, basically asking this question: if somebody cheated, would you stay with them? And a young lady responded saying that her significant other had cheated on her 3 times, and she stayed, and she cheated on him once, and he left.
Man, I mean, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And so I'm assuming it was through the course of their relationship, dating and married. Yeah. And so he cheated multiple times, and she stayed, and she cheated once, and he left.
But you know, too, it's not in all cases, but they say women, you know, if they cheat, they feel like it's more an emotional thing. You know, they're not just having casual sex, but with a man, a lot of times it's casual. It's like he's not in love when he's doing that most of the time. He just, all right. I mean, she was fine and
she was there.
Kind of fell into place, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
My God. But I can't wait to hear Dr. Wilborn speak on it.
But in a man's mind, when that woman cheats, it's like, oh, it's like her heart was in it and her emotions, and she's spending time, and she probably thinking about, you know, starting a future with this guy. I mean, just, you know. It's more of an emotional thing. So, there you go.
Dr. Wilborn, give me your take. This scenario, please.
My mind is like in so many different spaces.
Lucky for us, we have an hour. So
yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes it takes me a little longer to process. But I guess I'm kind of getting caught up on Henry's take that men and women process the experience of cheating differently, because I do think that there is some truth to that in terms of maybe the things that cause women to cheat and maybe what we hope to get out of the cheating may seem different than what it is for men.
Right.
But I mean, I really want to hear Henry kind of unpack that. I want to hear you unpack this a bit more, because I think there's some women, because I think that there are some women out there who want to know and want to minimize the experience of being cheated on so that they can have love and have love more fully. So I'm curious.
Well, first of all, you gotta find out, every man who has cheated, they have to look within themselves and figure out, why am I doing this? If I'm married or I'm in a relationship, because women say it all the time, you could have just stayed single if you're gonna do that. A lot of people say that, but why is this man cheating? So I believe there are various reasons. One reason is you might have a man that he's just promiscuous. That's his thing. He's gonna be always looking for the next woman. They got some men that just love multiple women. No other reason than that. Their wife could do everything in the world, but that's not gonna stop them from wanting what they want. They have another type where men feel like they should cheat if their wives aren't having sex with them as often as they would like. Some men say, well, if she wasn't holding out so much, I wouldn't have to go nowhere else.
Or activities in the act, right?
Yeah. Like a woman say, "Oh, I won't do certain things." He might. I'm gonna tell you this: a man does not go backwards when it comes to his sexual experience. So if his last girlfriend was doing X, Y, Z, if you're not doing that, he's gonna feel like he's missing something. And a lot of women don't go backwards with their lifestyle. So if her last boyfriend was paying for her hair to get done and her nails and stuff, if you're not up on that, she's gonna feel like she's missing something. So it goes both ways. You got to compromise. So far I said the man who just loves women, the man who
sexual needs aren't taken care of.
Yeah, that was
by
the third
choice.
one.
By choice, though, right?
Right. What was the third one?
I'm waiting to hear from you, but I think I know it.
What is it?
When they're trying to fill a void.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one because they feel like a lot of times it's like if they feel like they're mistreated by a woman or they feel like they need to feel like a man in another situation. Like I hear situations like if a man feel like their woman talking to him bad or treating him like less of a man, they'll go out, like you said, to fill a void, to feel like more of a man. Let me go do this. I feel like the man over here, she treats me different. Now, to me, that's more of like a woman way of thinking. Because women do that when they feel like they're missing something. A lot of times, women not cheating because, you know what I'm saying. I don't get into that.
No, go ahead. That's what this is all about.
Basically, a void needs to be filled.
Yeah.
And women, that's why they cheat a lot of times. But you also have men that do the same thing when they feel like a void.
It's like covering up a vice for another issue.
Yeah.
It's like I'm focusing on this and this can take up my time. Because I had this conversation recently.
Yeah.
This can fill up my time, so I don't have to think about what's really going on.
Yeah.
Could it be issues with women from the past, or even a maternal relationship, or
all of that?
You're like all of the above.
But you know what? It never fixes the problem. The problem is still in your house. So if you're not telling your woman, look, I'm not getting what I really need from you, or it could even be like, physical attraction could be leaving. I feel like, man, open your mouth and say something. You have to. If you want something in life, you're not gonna get it if you're not saying anything.
I'm going to pose this question to each of you because I was reading a little bit of this in depth, and so I'd love your take on this. Whereas, and I'm speaking towards the male cheating at this point, when it could sometimes has nothing to do with the woman. It's the issue that they need to deal with.
Most of the time, I was nothing to do with the woman.
Literally has nothing to do with the woman. Just like you said, you could be the most perfect everything, but it has something to do with him needing to take care of an issue.
Yeah.
And if you see that he displays certain types of behavior, that it's not necessarily something directly aimed at you, but it's something he needs to take care of if you do love him. And this goes back to the love and humility, realizing that the it's not an intent to hurt you, even though it does hurt you. He's hurting himself. It's like a self-inflicted wound, but it's just displayed sexually because that's what they feel like they're good at.
Right.
Aha.
Yeah.
That's what they feel like they're.
Good. Before break, but I can appreciate.
I'm gonna let you go for your full thought, then we're gonna take a break.
I can appreciate the idea of love as humility, but I like the word vulnerability more because I think what it really boils down to is being vulnerable and communicating what it is that you need and or what your voids are. So let me share something really quick. I was watching Iyanla Fix My Life the other day, and let me just say this. I'm not a huge fan of her approach, and yet at the same time I can appreciate it, that I think it works for some people. So she had Terrell Owens on, T.O. And T.O.'s issue was around multiple relationships, multiple children with multiple women, and his career was sort of falling apart, and so he wanted Iyanla to fix that. And so anybody that knows Iyanla's approach, she gonna get in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And what came out of that conversation was that T.O. had a childhood experience where he did not know his father for several years. His father lived exactly across the street from him.
Wow.
Okay. His mother had a relationship with his father, who was a married man. And it wasn't until Tio decided that he liked his half-sister, he had an attraction to his half-sister, that it then became important enough for Tio to know that that was his father.
Wow.
Well, as the story unfolded, it got to the core of it, and there was a brokenness in Tio's spirit about the fact that his father never chose him, never saw him, never acknowledged him, that he could literally sit on the porch and see his father having a family and having a life and showing love to other people and not receiving that for himself. And so he had internalized a lot of this invisibility, right? And this disposability that played out in his behavior on the court, or not on the court, on the field, that played out in his broken relationships with women, that played out in some of the dysfunction in his own relationship with his children. And so we saw how those childhood experiences impacted him. And I think, going back to the point that was being discussed earlier, is that a lot of times we don't form healthy attachments in our adulthood because we don't have solid foundations for them in our childhood. And if we don't disrupt that pattern and look at what is getting in the way of me being able to be vulnerable, to be honest about what I need, what am I afraid of, we just continue that pattern. And so for me, it goes back to, where did you learn those messages, and how do we re-script the messages so that you can be honest with yourself first, and then with the person that you love.
Absolutely. Y'all are hitting on y'all are hitting on everything for me. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation. Y'all, we have our lines lit up. We have Coleman. I know you're holding. We're going to go to a quick break. Please hold through the break. If you would like to join the conversation, give us a call at 504-260-9265. 504-260-9265. It is The Good Life. We are here on Relationship Tuesday. We're having a conversation about love and humility, and as eloquently as Dr. Wilborn said, and vulnerability. We'll be right back. Dinner. When I read this, I was like, wow. But this is like what I have. Y'all already know what I've been dealing with, and y'all do too, unfortunately. Everybody is. But so many times we don't go through figuring this stuff out before we get married. And these are things that we need to really figure out before we get married, because if it could be the man or the woman who's having issues, but the issues could be, a lot of times, I mean, it is what it is, and I am generalizing because I'm not a counselor, which is why I need y'all to correct me. You see that in men where the fallback is to be promiscuous, but it could be something where he had a broken childhood or broken relationship, and there's a void, or I'm not a counselor, where it plays out in a manner like that, and then we just see them as one thing, and once they go through a process, they're like, that's not really who I am or really what I want to be. Or you may find out, like Henry said, there are just some people, male and female, where that's just their thing, and then you can figure it out and be like, okay, this one, they may have an open lane to being something else. This one I'm not going to deal with because they're not even looking to do anything else. But you can distinguish the difference. But are we taking the time to really figure these things out, whether it be sexual, whether it be addicted to work, whether it be an addiction, drugs, alcohol, gambling, whatever it is, but the one that hurts the most, well, I don't want to say hurts the most because drugs hurt the most, but it hurts us the most when it is sexual, I think.
Well, and I guess it depends. It hurts us.
It hurts us the most,
because I think women are socialized to experience sex as connection, and I think men are socialized to not see sex as connection. Right?
Which is what you said, yeah.
We ain't got to kiss or none of that.
Right, and so that's what hurts.
I have to kiss you. When I see you, I want to kiss you.
But I thought like that for years, though. I know what you're saying.
But think about the thing that when women find out that their partner is cheating, what hurts us the most is thinking about the intimacy that you share with somebody else. That's the part that keeps playing. You're like, oh my God, you laid down with somebody else. Whereas if you ask the man, he's like, we just kicked it. It was all good. Why are you so upset? But for us, we're like, no, you entered into somebody else in a space that was
literally
for me. Yeah, literally. That's what I mean. I'm saying it literally. But I don't buy for a second that men aren't affected when they make those kind of decisions, because all of us as humans, we are wired for connection biologically. All of men, women, we're wired for connection. So I don't buy that even men who make choices to cheat aren't affected. You want connection, but you're using your sexual prowess as a way of connecting when really it's disconnecting.
That's true.
Hello.
Question. The openings goes a little better.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Praise the
It
Lord.
was stifling when I walked in. Like there was no air. Even this.
Y'all, I can't even tell you what went down on WBOK. Somebody stole our air conditioning units. Like scaled the building and stole our air conditioning units.
So Susan just told
Who does that?
They're going to be starting to get replaced tomorrow.
Oh, praise the Lord. Who does that?
You know, on your profile picture that you always post, the black and white one?
Yeah.
You should do another one smiling.
I have one.
Yeah,
Why?
post that.
Because I look mad or something.
You look mad, attitude. You look serious, you know what I mean? But you look very
I'll do that at the end.
warm when you smile. Beautiful smile. But my opinion,
SOS.
yeah. I mean, it's good, but
Yeah.
just I like the smile too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All that stuff.
Yeah. We should do a promo for today. Do you want me to make a promo?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can make a promo. We should do a promo and run it today and tomorrow.
He wept. I mean,
I'll do it when I get off the air.
Iyanla paired him up to tell his father how much he had hurt him because he didn't see him. You could just see the pain of this grown, accomplished athlete trying to let go of the pain of being invisible. Can you imagine seeing your dad across the street? He don't even acknowledge you.
That's insane.
So y'all hear dump trucks and the blowers and none of that behind me? Okay. Never mind.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
I was impacted by that story.
But you know what? It goes, oh, I'm going to tell you when we come back. Because that's how I'll tell you when we come back. We have Coleman on line 1 to go to first.
I like him. Good morning,
and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. We are live on Facebook and live on Instagram. On Instagram, we're only live about 24 hours, so you got to be quick to watch it there. If you do want to share the show, you can always do that on Facebook. Follow us at TGL Radio Show, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you would like to join the Good Life Radio Show, find our rates and packages online at www.tglradioshow.com. Why? Because it's the good life. Our conversation this week has been about love in so many different aspects. Yesterday we talked about it a little bit with Bishop Henry Bolden with regard to connection with parental love, you know, having that connection with your parents early on and how it can affect your relationships. And this this conversation actually rolled into a little bit of it with Dr. Wilborn talking about Terrell Owens and his lack of relationship with his father that led him to be promiscuous, but it was looking for connection, but it was actually a disconnection. Y'all should stay tuned during the break. She dropped some knowledge on us. But we have Coleman. He has been waiting through the break, and so I want to bring him on. Coleman, good morning. Welcome to The Good Life. How are you?
Good morning, man.
And
Yeah, that makes sense. My lord.
Coleman.
How many men you know like that?
Coleman. Well, I need you to work on yourself before you get into a committed relationship. If you don't want to, if you like more than one flavor, let the people know that you're in a relationship with, or that you're dating, i.e., that's where you are. And then if that's what they want, then it's cool. But don't go commit yourself. Don't go commit yourself to somebody. Don't tell them where you are in life and then be mad when they get their feelings hurt and want to respond. I mean, be upfront, be honest, and then it is what it is. If y'all are both on that page, then cool. But if not, then you're being a liar, pants on fire. Yeah.
Oh man!
All right, Coleman.
Wow.
That sounds like a conversation you should have with your significant other. Thank you so much for your call. We have our lines lit up. We have Solomon on the line. Bye.
I knew he was coming on that angle because he always do.
but okay, so that's a conversation you need to have within your household.
Yes,
if it's a reoccurring theme, it's a conversation. Why are you coming like this? What is upsetting you? I might be reacting to you. I might have a headache and my back might be hurt because of something that you're doing on a consistent basis and I don't feel like it. How about that?
Yeah.
Now we need to come together and figure out what that is so that we can have a more perfect union, i.e. We have Solomon online too. Solomon, welcome to The Good Life. We are here with Dr. Tammy Wilborn, Henry Jolly, and myself, Eileen. Good morning. Absolutely. Okay. Please, tell us.
Right.
Go ahead. Yes. Thank you so much, Coleman. I have to agree with him. I believe that we're all on a journey and we're all here for self-mastery. And like he said, he says everybody cheats. I mean, I can't put an ultimatum or, and Henry says everybody does. I think emotionally or physically, I also feel like we should kind of figure out why we do it, though. I think we're here for self-mastery. And so if we're doing something that isn't for our best interest, let's figure out why we're doing it. Like he called it a red door. Okay, well, what is it for you? Everybody has something. But figure out why you keep running in the same circles. Figure out why you keep knocking your head on the wall. Figure it out. What is it? If you're a cheater, why?
Boy, man. You want me to comment on that?
Go ahead, Henry. Yeah, it's like what is?
There's a lot of people that feel the way my man feels, the way he just said it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to disagree with that, because I'll say this. I don't know. I told my wife this the other day. I've never met a woman who wasn't a promiscuous woman. Never met one. So
you never what?
Never met a woman who wasn't promiscuous. I've never met one.
What are you talking about? You're sitting across from.
But listen, you say that. But listen, I ain't trying to challenge y'all, but listen what I'm saying. From people I've dated, people I've had contact with.
We didn't date them, so we.
Yeah, I've never met one. I've never met one.
A woman that was promiscuous?
A woman that wasn't promiscuous.
Oh.
All right.
You also attract what you need to heal. I'm just saying.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you.
You attract what you need to heal.
But let me say this. She says, well, I'm that one. I said, well, you're a unicorn. I said, it's still early. We come on, man. We still not 30. So, I mean, I can't say I disagree with my man right there. I mean, I don't know. And I'm saying that because I've never met a woman that wasn't promiscuous.
Henry, how long have you known me? Seriously.
But I don't know
Real
for a fact. I'm not with you. See what I'm saying? I'm not with you all the time. And everybody got different forms of cheating. It may not just be sexual. It may be some emotional connection. You may call your ex-boyfriend to get advice, about me one day. You know what I'm saying?
Is that cheating, though?
Everybody look at it different. I believe cheating is whatever you wouldn't do in front of your spouse. If they had a problem with it, you wasn't being honest, and it had to do with like another, person of the opposite sex, somebody who's interested in it, I guess I kind of do think it's cheating. So if I did the same thing, it is cheating. So, because there's emotional cheating. It doesn't always have to be sexual. So a lot of women say, well, I've never cheated. But if you called that dude or your ex-boyfriend and you gave that number out one time because you was mad at him, I do look at it as cheating. So and I'm not trying to put my friends or family under the bus, but once again, I don't know no dudes either. None. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know none. And I never met a woman that wasn't promiscuous. Yeah.
Henry job.
Keep living, Henry.
But one more thing, I'm sorry, before I let you.
Go ahead.
I would like to believe that everybody's not like that. I would love to believe that, but until I see it,
Henry,
it's hard to believe.
You've been sitting next to me for almost 3 years.
But I ain't in a relationship with you, so I don't know.
Okay, well, outside of do you think that I'm promiscuous? Having known me for 3 years.
You want an honest answer?
Yes.
I can't give it on air.
Because
I look at everybody guilty till they proven innocent. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Guilty to proven innocent.
I think the thing I want...
Henry.
I'm sorry.
I want to speak
Shaking my head.
To me, I think Coleman and... Did they say their
Solomon.
Names? Can I say
Solomon.
that? Coleman
Yeah.
and Solomon. To me, I think Coleman and Solomon, their perspective represents a generational perspective about relationships and the place of women that puts women and our needs secondary to men. And I don't think necessarily that what they say is not true today. But I also think you have to take their comments and their experiences and place them within the context of the period of time in which these men were socialized. And so women, and again, I don't think that some of what they said is not true today, but they come from that period of time where, it was about women, we have sex and we make sandwiches and we make babies and, that's our sole purpose was to be at the disposal of men. And I think you have a generation of women now that are saying that's BS.
Right.
That's
BS.
that men don't that our existence, our sense of mattering is not about making sure that your needs are met, right? And to ignoring my own. And so I always think you have to put things in context in terms of why people say the things that they say and believe the things that they believe. I do think that there's some merits of what they said. I do think that, to Solomon, I think it was Solomon's point about rules of engagement. We've been talking about that on this show, about have me be a part of that conversation. Yeah. If you like 31 flavors, okay, let's have that conversation. I might say to you, that's not how I roll, and so maybe you don't want to be in engagement with me, and that's fine. I think there's value in that. I think there's value in recognizing that, we have different expectations in terms of relationships and being honest about that. But I don't think that it's fair for people to look at women as, we're just here for the sole pleasure and disposal of men, because that's not the case.
Right, like sex and security. I was like, I think off a little bit more than that.
Well, define disposal. What you mean? Like y'all just here for as objects and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so somebody said, well, women, we just want sex. So if I come to you, so I'll insert myself.
Go ahead.
For the last couple of weeks, I've been battling with headaches, and I'm not going to talk about the bedroom with my husband, but I certainly have been vulnerable in saying, hey, I'm not feeling well, so on and so forth. Rather than him trying to impose on me his needs, he said, what's wrong? What's going on with you? You've been complaining about a headache for 2 weeks. Maybe you should go to the doctor. Maybe there's something going on. I came to him the other day and said, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good in my body. Honestly, I feel like I won't cry. He said, you know what? Go ahead. Go do what you need to do. And
love it.
And so the point of what I'm saying is, because he cares about me,
right?
Not just about, he cares about me outside of the bedroom, that I can be vulnerable with him and say, I don't feel like my best version of myself. I need to be vulnerable in this space, and I need you to honor that space for me. And when I'm back to myself, I'm going to come back to you. And he's there when I come back.
Watch this.
Oh, wait. That's important. That's important that she said that.
Yeah.
He's there when she comes back, and he's not like, oh, well, you weren't there a week ago, and so I'm going to play this, back and forth.
Yeah.
He's
and I
there.
Don't know I feel confident that I have a relationship that's monogamous and honest and monogamous and vulnerable. But we work hard at that.
Yeah.
We work hard at that. What were you gonna say, Jimmy?
I was gonna say, like he wanted you to be mentally and emotionally before y'all can do whatever y'all was gonna do. But you see the end result? Go get straight so we can get the best version of you once you straight. You
That's
see what I'm saying?
That's what I said.
Well, I'm saying he of course he's gonna what's the word?
That's a part of marriage, though. I mean,
well, yeah, but
sexual intimacy is a part of marriage.
But you see the end result. Okay, so if you ask a million men, would you rather a woman who has whack sex or whack sex and intelligent, or dumb and great sex? If that's your only two options, they're gonna pick dumb and great sex.
Yeah. You think so?
Absolutely.
But for long term?
Absolutely.
You can work on sex. You can't work on intelligence.
No, I'm talking about you got some women who just refuse to do certain things. So I mean, like I said, whack sex,
time out.
Intelligent.
Wait, you know what? I'm about to bust you on your own topic, because you have said before that when you're dating prior to your marriage, that you were dating somebody who like, oh, she had a banging body, but she was dumb and all she wanted to do was agree with you, and you're like, it only worked for so long while you were dating or whatever. Then you were like, and then look, you have Ashley who's an engineer. Like, you married an intelligent woman.
But guess what?
And I'm sure not to get all in your business, but you learned each other in the best way that your marriage works. Correct?
Yeah, but she got the whole package. See, but I'm saying if you had just these two options, they're gonna pick great sex, not intelligent.
But can I break down great sex, or at least try to put some context on why it matters that I'm well before we do this? Because if I'm not feeling good in my body, or if I'm not feeling good in my mind, I can't connect with you in a way that when we have great sex, you feel it, right? And it's there. And so it's hard to imagine great sex when the persons that are laying down together, they're not feeling good in their body. They're not feeling good, mentally, physically, whatever. And so why is it that we would dismiss the importance of somebody saying, look, I can't do this right now because I'm not in that space, versus I'm good, we can make it happen.
Right.
I think that's great, because I don't see how people want to have sex if the other person's not into it, or if they not ready. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going through something.
But that's the premise, though, right? Isn't that the premise of what was said, that men just want sex? So you want sex, you don't care if the women aren't feeling good, you don't care.
I think he's looking at overall. I don't think he's thinking about every night. You know what I mean?
Sex is a touchy subject.
Yeah.
It
no
is.
pun intended.
It is, and I have a question for you, but before I jump to that question, I gotta stay tuned. We have Martin on line 3. Martin, welcome to The Good Life. We are here with Dr. Tammy Wilborn, Henry Jolly, and myself, Eileen, on Relationship Tuesday. We are discussing love and humility, i.e. vulnerability. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, my brother. I've always felt that way. Go ahead. I throw him off.
I mean, really and truthfully, I think if you kind of catch a person young, your parents should groom you how a girl needs to be, and the other parents should groom them how a boy should be. It should be something on your head, like your high school friends, where you can really live a good life. But boys and all of that, when you meet a person, eventually it'll be give and take. A game, strictly a game of give and take. That's what pretty much right now. Because if the person couldn't do for you, you're going to go about your business. When you got, boys has that saying, a woman with a body and no brain, you can find that anywhere. Anywhere. But you never find brain in it's like they judge their meat from when they come. Now, the majority of black people, they judge their meat from the day of love. And that don't really work out, because eventually that peak up.
Right.
You have house notes, car notes, all that stuff coming around. You can have a big whatever all you want, but if the bills roll around. But anyway, I'll push y'all.
Thank you so much, Martin.
I know that's right.
Thank you so much, Martin. I'm glad he brought up this topic, because this is what I was talking about during the break, that I said I was going to come back after we spoke to the callers. And we had, we got so busy, but getting back into the topic of the importance of love and humility, whereas somebody says that they're going to leave, or they actually do leave, and you realize, wait, I really do want the relationship. Or where we kind of started focusing on, if someone is being unfaithful in the relationship and you actually stay. Aren't these things that so many times we want to jump into a relationship, or a marriage, or I should say a committed relationship, where we don't take the time to figure out these things previous to us getting in a committed relationship? Whereas that's what I wanted to focus on. Yes, we love them, and we could love them enough to be with them while they figure it out, and while they're figuring it out, be loving ourselves and figure out why we attracted that. Because if they're doing something, let's go on with the infidelity. If they're, if it's a gentleman and, he's promiscuous and he's doing stuff, and we find out that it could be the Terrell Owens case where, he had didn't have a relationship with his father. Well, while he's figuring that out, I love him and we're still cool and still talking. But while he's figuring that out, I need to figure out, why am I attracted to a man who is having these issues and is promiscuous? Maybe I have had a rejection in my life. I've had an abandonment issue in my life that I need to heal, because I keep attracting this type of man. And so we could love each other and be healing, and then say, you know what? Yes, I want to move along in this relationship, but now I'm a whole person, he's a whole person, and we can move forward. Okay, that's one scenario. The other scenario is, he's cheating, and you know what? I'm going to learn my lesson from this, and I don't want to move this forward anymore.
Yeah.
It can go either way. But should we, I'm asking both of you this, should we be doing more of this before we actually get in committed relationships? So many times now we're just like, oh, I dated you for 3 months, or I'm on the phone for 3 months, you have to be exclusively mine. We need to figure out what the other person's issue is. Yes, no? Because I know I got my issues, so, what are yours? And if I truly believe, and this is on a spiritual level, and so I know Dr. Wilborn is with me on this, and Henry, you do too, but, we've had more conversations like this, but spiritually, I'm attracting you for a reason. So what am I supposed to be learning on this on so many levels, spiritually, emotionally, and then if we do decide to come together, as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it kind of goes back to, again, knowing what it is that, kind of knowing your love language. I was thinking about this before we even came, because a lot of times we don't even have a true sense of how we would know we are loved, because we don't really know what our language is. And so a lot of times, like for me, I know that I am loved when I have words that are affirming. So complimenting me about things that I'm doing, encouraging me, using strength focus. I hate to sound clinical, but using strength focus and positive kind of language shows me that I'm loved. But besides that, also there were other things that I was clear about that I know I needed from a mate that were tangible: hard worker, God loving, respecting my son, respecting my body, making me laugh. These were things that I knew absolutely that I needed to have. And so if my husband has some sort of snafu and he has a down moment, I can still go back and say, I am still choosing him because of these things. Right. And I think a lot of times we do fall into love or get into relationships with people for superficial reasons. One of the things that I see a lot, especially in our community, is that we have a lot of liquid connections.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I mean when I say that?
Tell me, what's a liquid connection?
Oh, the connection we have after we done had a few drinks. And
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we hook up and I mean, y'all, I want y'all to hear me though. We have a lot of liquid connections where we get together, we hook up, and the next day we're like, oh, okay, why my boy ain't called me, or where he at? Right. Because you have created a connection that was not there. The liquid made the alcohol, the whatever, the thing that kind of got in the way. Well, but even I'm saying the connection, but the bottom line is superficial connection. Right. We're not making connections on meaningful, tangible reasons. We're just connecting because he broke me. He broke me off the night before, and now I feel love. But then my boy, you can't find him, right? Because it wasn't real in the
We
first
like
place.
the same kind of music. We have the same car. Our children go to the same school, but
all those reasons are whack to me. I look at it like, back to what Dr. Tammy said, you got to look at your checklist. And if you don't have a checklist, you always be picking and choosing all kind of random things. If you know what you're looking for, you got to know yourself first, and you got to know what you want. So when things do break down in a relationship and you find out, oh, this person isn't as honest as I thought they would be, well, that's a real simple getaway card. You know what I mean? You don't... a tiger don't change these stripes. People change when they want to change. You can't force somebody to be something that they're not. So I mean, I don't feel like the Terrell Owens situation. Some women may want to stick with him and say, okay, well, he's going through, he was going through whatever he was going through. I'm gonna stick with him, and I'm gonna stick with him until he gets better. What if he don't want to get better? Right. You're just wasting your time and wasting years of your life. I mean, if he's not what you want, hey man, move on.
But shouldn't you figure out if they want to get better before you get in a committed relationship?
Some people got a good poker face and they could trick you. But
Dr. Tammy was like, yes.
That's true, but you got to take the time
no matter
to get
what
to know
it
the
is.
person.
And we're talking about infidelity here, but it could be alcohol abuse. It could be gambling. It could be drug abuse. It could be addicted to work. It could be overeating. All of these things, because overeating will affect your health and your lifestyle and your money and your family and your children. We can just focus on the infidelity, but there's so many different aspects of life. We all have something that we need to work on, and so many times we focus on the other person. And I've been, I raise my hand, I've done it myself. I'm like, he this, and this. Okay, but why am I attracted to this, and this? What do I need to heal in myself? So I want to say, open your mind to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and everyone else. And when you are in these relationships, the other person does bring out your fears. and your vulnerabilities, but they bring out your vulnerabilities so that you can heal them, and then you can both become whole, either together or apart. And so I want to thank Dr. Tammy Wilborn for being here, and Henry. Dr. Wilborn, how can they contact you?
504-509-3995, 504-509-3995, or info@wilbornchemicalservices.com.
And Henry, how can they contact you?
Instagram, Henry Jolly _counselor, and also my phone number 504-259-8671, 504-259-8671.
And who are listening from all over the world today. I want to send a shout out to Cincinnati, Houston, and Florida. We have some people who are listening there. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you for giving us your comments right underneath. Please let us know how you feel, if you're enjoying the show, or if you have a topic that you want us to touch on. But since you're listening all over the world, I want to make sure you're listening here, because tomorrow is the last day to register to vote for the October 14th election. We want to make sure that we get that out. It is so vitally important. We have seen what has happened during our election seasons. We want to make sure that everybody is a part of the process. So tomorrow is the last day to register for the open primary. Make sure you get out and do your part. It is our duty. I mean, and hopefully you say it that way. It's a good life, y'all. Lee's telling me to get off. Maybe Lee, I should just keep talking, because but you. No. Okay. Y'all, Lee's about to kill me. Thanks so much for tuning in. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. That is at TGL Radio Show, at TGL Radio Show. I'm your girl, Eileen, and I'm out. I was just doing that to mess with Lee.
WBOK blog programmer.
Yes, we are.
Advertise with the Good Life Radio Show. Call 504-400-7127. 504-400-7127.
That's it?
It is.
Your mind and grow with the Good Life Radio Show today.
I know, but I have to let this go so then I can tell them bye. Oh, you don't want to say bye? Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. You know how I do this in the industry. I gotta say bye. Thanks so much for tuning in. I can't hear. I know. I'm sorry. It was harder for you to hear what the caller was saying. I will work on that for our next show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us. That is Dr. Tammy Wilborn. Make sure you contact her if you need her. And that's Henry. We appreciate each and every one of you, and please share the show. Let your friends know about it. Why? Because it's the good life.